I want to go to Jacqueline, who's calling on from Maryland, who actually has a very real question that a lot of people are concerned about. I want to hear from you, Jacqueline.
Hi. Yeah. I am very, very concerned about the folks. I believe in getting rid of waste. I support that, but I'm very, very concerned about the people who are starving to death in other countries who we have just completely cut off aid in this quest for efficiency. And as a lifelong Christian, I don't understand how we could not have something to segue and help these people. And it's really, really upsetting me, and I'm concerned. I don't understand as a Christian country how we can do this with babies literally starving to death.
Jacqueline,
but there's got to be some way.
I think some of it you're not really seeing of what the spending, a lot of it was gone to. Do I think that we should be supporting other countries and funding them and funding their humanitarian relief? I think there's probably a level of that is fine. Also, as you said, I'm glad you're saying it's a Christian country. I don't think a lot of people would agree with you, sadly, Jacqueline. This is where we are in America today. I do think it's part also of the church. Step up. I don't know if it's part of the federal government to decide who we're funding and who we're not funding when we are so much in debt in terms of government spending. Now, we also know that a lot of the cuts were not humanitarian cuts. A lot of the cuts were legitimate waste. Were wasteful.
And to Jacqueline as well, the department, remember, they fired around 10,000 staff, but they did keep staff specifically in the Bureau for Humanitarian Assistance, the Global Health Bureau, the Middle East Bureau, an African Bureau, as well as management. So it's not 100% that humanitarian aid has gone out. However, I think also to your point, Jacqueline, there are many studies from economists, especially that are more conservative in how, and some that aren't so conservative, that government foreign aid for programs like that is easy to flash a headline like you're saving starving children. But in reality, the USAID has been, since its inception, a mechanism to get control over developing countries and their governments. That's why grants go to their press there, to make sure that propaganda is printed within these countries' press. It's why many of these developing nations become dependent on USAID, and they can never break out of the cycle of poverty and take care of the people there, and the corruption abounds.
That's about to say, the corruption, I think, is so much a big part of this. I mean, look at what even happened in Gaza. When you're talking about trying to put in humanitarian aid and continue humanitarian aid, we all know where that funding was going. And it wasn't going to the people. It was going to the leaders. It was going to fund terrorism. It wasn't going to do the right thing and to feed people and do all those things, which of course we support. But Jacqueline, I understand your concern because it's easy to see that, but remember, a lot of what you're seeing is propaganda. Well, a lot of what you're seeing is not the full truth. Because if it's going to come from a President Trump administration, it has to be bad, according to the press. But again, I understand your concern, but I also think there are plenty of great organizations to get involved with. I mean, you have something like a Samaritan's Purse or some of these others. Do it right now. Support them. I mean, support us as well, obviously, but support those organizations. Get involved at your local church level. That is how we're really going to change the world. It is not through the federal government.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.